Well, look at us, the last two standing. I have to admit, I'm pretty impressed to see that you're still here. Most people bolt the minute the clock strikes 5. Dedicated, loyal, trustworthy. I knew there was a reason why I kept you so close. All right, let's get down to this. This client issue is not gonna solve itself, unfortunately. All right, so first things first. Do we lead with honesty, or do we massage the truth a little bit? Oh, do not look at me like that. You know how this game is played. But I do trust you to tell me what you think will genuinely work. You know what? Hold that thought. We cannot work on an empty stomach. No. What is your go-to, favorite meal for late nights? Pizza? I like it. All right, let's make this interesting. I'm gonna write down one topping, my favorite topping, and you write down your favorite topping, and then we'll see what sort of masterpiece or disaster we create here. Okay, so you write yours down, I'm gonna write mine down, and then we'll show each other. Okay. Are you ready? All right, I'm gonna go first. What? Mushrooms are a classic. Underappreciated, even. Let me see yours. Okay, I respect that. I think that could work. You know what? Oh, this actually reminds me of this sort of thing I was thinking about. How people are like pizza toppings. Just wait a minute, hear me out. I would say most people are pepperonis. Now, they're safe, they're palatable to the masses, they're always invited to the party. You know the type of people I'm referring to. And then there's people like you and I. We are more like the mushroom olive people. We bring something unique to the table. We're not for everyone. We're an acquired taste. But the people that like us and appreciate us really like us. And I don't know about you, but I would rather be really liked by the right people than just sort of universally accepted by everyone. All right, yeah, I guess that's enough waxing poetic about pizzas. Let's order this puppy. All right, do you have a place that is your go-to, your favorite? I have heard that they are quite delicious. Last time I was getting my hair done, my hairdresser recommended that spot. So yeah, let's do that. And we will do, what size? Are we gonna be good or are we gonna be really bad? I like the way you think. Okay, so extra large mushrooms, there we are. Okay, and complete order. Nice, all right, should be here in about 20 minutes, give or take. Do you want me to go grab you a coffee or water or something? I'm a little thirsty. All right, well, if you change your mind, let me know. I'm gonna go grab something. I'll be right back. Keep talking, I can hear you. Wonderful idea. I'm gonna write that down. I like the angle you're working with here. You're sure you don't want anything to drink? All right. Okay, let's see here. So let me write down what you just said. I liked that. So rephrase that one more time. Make sure I get it word for word. Yes, that's perfect. You have such a good way with words. You know what, I just had sort of like a random thought. You know how sometimes like certain memories just stick out in your head more than others? And it's interesting, I find that oftentimes, it's not the big, like flashy moments that stand out to you. It's more like these quiet moments, sort of like the one that we're having now, just stand out to you in your memories. So what do you think? 5 years from now, do you think you'll still remember tonight? Well, I hope so. I'd hate to think that I'm wasting all my charm on someone that's not even gonna remember in the morning. So how's it been working for me? I imagine it must be pretty exhausting. Honestly though, I do really want to thank you now that we have like a moment alone here. No, not just for tonight, but just in general, I really trust you and value you as an employee. And I have to say that having you here definitely makes things interesting and, dare I say, even a little fun at times. Now, you've been a really incredibly valued member of this team, and you've become someone that's really indispensable in such a short period of time. I wanted to say that. I know that we don't have the opportunity to sit and talk like this often. So I just want you to know how appreciated you are. Nobody can do what you do the way that you do it. You just have a really unique spin and a really unique perspective, not just on life, but on this company in general. And it's extremely valued, so I just wanted you to know that. All right, so see, there you go again. There's that sense of humor that I really have come to love and appreciate. Let's wait until the pizza comes to really delve into this. I don't know about you, but I find it very hard to work on an empty stomach. So tell me, if you weren't here with me right now, what would you be doing? Would you be out with friends? Would you be at the gym, watching TV, playing a video game? No, don't, underestimate video games. They're a very powerful tool to meditation, actually. It's true. Think about it. If you're playing a video game, especially nowadays, like the type of games that people play, it requires your full mental concentration and the hand-eye coordination that you have to have in order to be pressing the right buttons at the right time. There's very few activities that we get to engage on that completely occupy all of our mental space. I was actually watching this podcast. I say watching because it was on YouTube. I find it easier to pay attention when I actually am seeing people. So I was watching Rogan, and he was interviewing Elon Musk. Actually talking about video games, and apparently there's this study that they did recently that shows that surgeons who play video games perform better than surgeons that don't. And not just by a small margin, by a significant amount. So, I'm sure it has to do with like dexterity, but also just being able to think super quickly. It's a good skill set. So I think, that's in order. I think you need to actually play more video games. Consider it training. Well, I'm sure it doesn't, apply just to surgeons. There's all sorts of situations that require you to be able to make snap decisions that are valuable. So, speaking of Elon Musk, what's your stance on the possibility of one day living on Mars? You think you can handle it? Now that he's created that starship that can go back and forth from Mars to Earth. Some people predict that by 2050 there'll be a civilization on Mars. No, I don't think that I could handle it. So, I don't know if you know this, but it takes roughly 6 to 9 months to make it to Mars. I can barely handle a 6-hour flight. There's no way my little ADD ass could hang out on a rocket ship for that long. And we're not talking about like the type of spaceship from like Star Wars or something where, you're walking around. We're talking an actual rocket where there's very little room to move about. And there's microgravity. So things like taking a shower or sleeping would be very, very challenging. Think about like if you're just floating around weightless. I have trouble enough sleeping as it is. I can't imagine if I had to actually strap myself down in order to sleep at night. Well, yeah, you'd have to, otherwise you'd be floating all around. So yeah, I think you'd have to have like a sleeping bag or something where you're like strapped down. Or maybe you'd be inside a pod. I don't know, but the whole thing just sounds not the most conducive to a wonderful night's sleep. Not to be raining on Elon's parade. I have like the utmost respect for that vision. I just am not the ideal candidate for that. No, I do love the concept. I always sort of think about just, like the first people that were here back in the Wild West, this completely untamed civilization, being able to start a new society. It's the same thing with Mars, the ultimate fresh start, the ultimate new beginning. But tragically, I can't make the 9-month journey, but who knows, down the line, probably not in our lifetime, but maybe there'll be a way to travel, like at the speed of light, who knows. Can't imagine like the G-force that would take, but yeah, hopefully we'd be asleep for that. They just make it look so easy, when you watch Star Wars. But yeah, sadly we're not quite there yet. Oh, you heard some typing? Has anyone told you the story about this floor? Well, rumor has it that the 7th floor is haunted. Yeah, I can't believe no one told you. That's what they say. Well, this building's very, very old. Very old. Yeah, this building was built in the 30s, 1934 to be exact, but back in the 70s it was owned by a different company than obviously right now. And there was this executive, Mr. Harper. And apparently Mr. Harper was a very, very hard worker. And he would stay here in this building at all hours of the night. And, you could just hear the clacking of his mechanical typewriter into all hours of the morning. And as the story goes, one morning the janitor got here early to tidy things up, and he found poor Mr. Harper slumped over his typewriter at his desk. Yeah, his office was Dan's office, just down the hall. According to Dan, the office is always freezing cold. But here's the really strange thing. So, shortly after he was found, people started reporting that they would hear typing, the sounds of the typewriter coming from his office when no one was inside. And the really, really creepy part, the part that's pretty terrifying, is when the janitor got there, there was a single piece of paper in the typewriter, and the words, "They're watching," was typed on that paper. Nothing else. Who knows? Who knows what it means? So creepy, right? I don't know. Maybe Mr. Harper just doesn't want us working as hard as he did. Competitive. He's trying to keep us out of the office at night, but it won't work. My competitive spirit's not going to be scared off by a potential ghost. Do you believe in ghosts? I think there's a lot of things that happen in this world that we don't really fully understand. On that note, I believe the pizza just arrived. It did. So why don't you sit tight, think about how spooked out you are, and how you're probably not going to be able to sleep, and let that adrenaline fuel you for staying up late and getting some very productive work done. I'll go grab the pizza. You jot down anything that pops into mind while I'm gone. Here you are. And I will be back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail, as they say. Very good. It is a Pulp Fiction reference.